All right, now, when we left off, we were talking about customary units of length, capacity, and weight. Today, I want to look at, in this video, of how to do conversion. What does that mean? Conversion means to change, okay? So what are we going to do? We're going to change from larger units to larger units to smaller units, from smaller units to larger units, all right, of measurement. All right, now, so let's get started. First of all, let's look at our paper. We're still on that same sheet, that workbook page 231. And right here below the chart, it says, remember, when converting from a lesser to a greater unit, you would divide. When converting from a greater to a lesser unit, you multiply. In other words, horse to fly, multiply. Fly to horse, divide, of course. So my first question is this: which distance is longer, 100 inches or 10 yards? So how would I go about solving this? Okay, so we have inches and we have yards, right? Let's look at that first of all. Inches and yards. Which one is the larger unit? Yards, of course, okay? It's always easier to multiply than it is to divide. So I would always, when you're comparing two units of measurement, such as this example here, inches and yards, always start with the yards. Try to multiply. Try to find out how many inches are in a yard, all right? So in other words, we won't be going from fly to horse, divide, of course. We'll be going from horse to fly, what? Multiply. Okay, let's get started. All right, so we have 100 inches is greater than, less than, or equal to 10 yards. Okay? I'm going to put my circle here in the middle. All right, 100 inches is greater than, less than, or equal to 10 yards. And we're doing horse to fly, multiply. Horse to fly, multiply. Now, that's inches and that's yards. I know that. But we're going to change the yards to inches because it's a lot easier, okay? So we're going to start with that first. So let's go right here and rewrite this. Let's rewrite it. And we're going to say 10 yards is equal to how many? You guessed it, inches. How would I solve that though? Remember, we're starting with the larger unit. So we're going to solve it just like it says. Horse to fly, multiply. So I'm going to put my H over the yards. My F for fly goes over the inches. And of course, horse to fly what? What goes last? Multiply. All right, now, so how do I multiply? Multiply what? I need to multiply 10. I need to multiply 10 times some number. And it's going to equal how many inches? You ready? How are we going to solve that though? We're going to go back up to our chart and we're going to look at yards and inches. You already may know the answer, but let's go back up to the chart. Looking at our chart, we have 1 yard equals what? 36 inches. So guess what I'm multiplying by? You're right, 36 inches. So let's go down to our chart. Let's go down to our problem, and we're going to multiply 10 times 36. 10 times 36. You know what we could do? Let's do the slide. You ready? 36 times 10. But we're not going to write 10 here. We're going to slide it over one place value because it's 1 0. Put that 0 on the end. And we're simply going to drop down that 0. And then multiply 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 3 is 3. And my answer is 360 what? 360 inches. So 10 yards equals 360 inches. So that means 10 yards is equal to 360 inches. Now I'm comparing it to 100 inches. 100 comparing it to 360. Remember the dot method? 100 would get 1 dot. 360 would get 2 dots, right? Then I connect my dots. So now we know that 100 inches is less than 10 yards. Okay? That is the example. They do not solve it that way, but it's a whole lot easier than dividing, guys. Okay, let's go to our next problem. Let me erase. You can look at the chart for one moment. All right, now let's continue. Let's look at our sheet at the bottom. It says here, excuse me, which is longer, 6 feet or 70 inches? 6 feet or 70 inches. Okay, so we have 6 feet and so we have feet and inches, right? So since we have feet and inches, that's what we're comparing. We're comparing the units of a larger unit to a smaller unit, which means horse to fly. So we're still doing horse to fly, and horse to fly means to do what? It means to multiply, right, guys? Okay, so I'm going to write my problem out. 6 feet, right, is greater than or less than 70 inches. We're trying to figure out which one is longest, right? Okay, feet to inches. Remember, horse to fly, what? Multiply. All right, now, how many inches are in feet? 6 times some number. We already talked about this, right? Let's go back up to our chart. Feet to inches. 1 foot equals 12 inches, right, guys? Okay, so what do I multiply by? The larger number, always, not the number 1. You're going to always multiply by the larger number, okay, which will be 12. All right, so 6 times 12. 6 times 12 is equal to what? What's 6 times 12 equal to? 72. Very good. So 72 inches. So 6 feet equals 72 inches. So now we're comparing inches to inches. Just makes it a whole lot easier, doesn't it? Okay. So 72, of course, is greater than 70. So 72 would get 2 dots. 70 would get 1 dot. And you simply connect the dots. Now we know that 6 feet is greater than 70 inches. So on the line here, you're simply going to write what? Which one's longer? 6 feet, of course. So you would write 6 feet on the line.